Emily's delivery. A bad storm came from the iron disorder. The engines were taking shelter at the sheds. But unfortunately for the engines at Vickerstown, they didn't get stuck at all. The roof at the top of the sheds was ripped apart for the wind, and it made the sheds colder, and the engine shivered. The next day, Emily come out of the sheds. She was shocked to see the huge mess. Meanwhile, the factory got the call and about to rip the roof from the sheds at Vickerstown. I'll send Emily to bring in some new materials for the roof at once, he said. At Naples Station, he arrived and told Emily the news. The storm has ripped apart the roof at Vickerstown sheds, he boomed. You are to take some new materials to mend the sheds right away. Yes, sir, said Emily, and she puffed away to collect the cars. Emily arrived at the yard to collect the equipment just as Thomas arrived. Thomas wanted Emily, and that the journey to Vickerstown was busy, with engines and workmen clearing the tracks. Whatever your line is blocked by trees, hazel or water tart, he told her, it'll make sure until the line is cleared, and patience is a virtue. Emily knew that Thomas was right, and she made her way. At the crossing near Crosby, she saw Trevor moving the tree across and saw a tree off the crossing. "Don't worry, Emily," he said. "I'll make sure the line is cleared." As soon as the line was clear, Emily set off. "Thank you, Trevor," said Emily. "No worries," replied Trevor. As Emily passed through Wellsworth, she saw Derek and some workmen putting up trees and branches onto his freight cars. Emily whistled, and Derek blew his horn back. But as she approached Marion Station, she saw that was a water in her way. "Brakes, God, please!" she called, and she did, just in time. Soon, Elizabeth soon arrived to move the water tower out of the way. Depends that the way, the present that it was heavy. He still did her best to push it. "Don't be impatient," ordered her driver. Emily waited. "Almost got it," said Elizabeth. At last, the towel was off Emily's line. "Thank you, Elizabeth," cried Emily. "No problem," said Elizabeth. Whenever Emily came at the crossing, something on her line, she waited patiently, so that he find a way out of here, and said thank you. Soon, Emily arrived at Vickerstown sheds. Soon, the roof was fixed. "Thank you. What is your name?" "Emily," she said. "Thank you, Emily, for bringing the materials for the shed's roof. Thanks to you, we won't have any wind or any hairs or snow fall on us." No. That made Emily grin happily, and felt pleased with the advice Thomas gave her.